Well, hello everybody. Well, first of all, let's hope I'm actually streaming. So, we're gonna go massive day, big updates. But just a couple of days ago, I had crashes on some PCs. I've been moving towers around, so I'm not even 100% positive right now this is all working because I literally just put this together in 15 seconds when I saw the FAQ drop this morning. I'm here, perfect. No. The audio. This is a completely untested microphone as well. I picked up a new one while I was buying a new tower. Well, there's a lot to talk about today. I was aware that a bunch of these. Thank you, Callista. I was aware that a bunch of these things were going to go. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I was aware of a bunch of these changes were being play tested. I did not think that those rumors going around with the most of that list in here was actually going to be true. I knew some of them were going to be true, not the whole thing, but we'll see. We'll go with everything. We'll try to move at a brisk pace. How's everybody doing? How are we feeling? How are we feeling about this before we even start? We not only we got an FAQ, we have a massive update. I'm thinking of all the ways to do busted things. I actually think they nailed a lot of the nasty stuff. Interesting. Okay, so caveat: I have not read this FAQ. These three FAQs yet. I've skimmed them real quick, and we're gonna go over them all. Game this even do rules? Well, I duff. Okay, so if you're with me live right now as I'm recording this, this is a Wednesday morning, and we stream battle reports Wednesday evenings. So unless I see some like major problems, which I don't foresee. Yeah, we will be using this FAQ tonight with help with chat keeping us on top of this. Jacob, yeah, having skimmed it, we're over now. Brandon King, we're gonna get a battle report in with him real soon. First impressions, that's where we're at. Okay, let's just get right to it. Thanks, Daydreamer, the super chat. I am extremely happy. Oh, I guess I better take notes of super chats and stuff for the monthly draw. That's Michael's job. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the rule book FAQ and errata because that's the big one. Let's go and tell cash, and then we'll go over the other two. Okay, so right off the hop, we got page 101. I have the rule book ready to go just in case we need. Am I extremely happy, Tolkash? I honestly don't know. I don't have a greater I don't know everything in this yet, so I have no idea if I'm happy or frustrated or scared as a gamer would be. So I'm gonna go over. Like I said, rule book first. Okay, so page 101, combat result bonus. Change the entry as follows. Wait a second. Blue and magenta. Updated entries are blue. Brand new things are magenta. There's a lot of magenta. Okay. Okay. So first one, page 101, combat result bonus. Change the entry as follows. While in combat, a close order formation with a unit strength of 10 or more may claim a combat bonus of +1. Okay, so we have a nerf to dragons and heavy chariots. And like small cav units. All those things could use nerfs. Oops, I'm being distracted by chat with all the things. I mean, everybody's right ahead of me already. So page 107, magical vortex. Change the second paragraph as follows. Some magical vortexes. Ooh, I'll fix that for you, Games Workshop. Some magical vortices move at the start of each turn, often by scattering. I think only by scattering, Games Workshop. Should a magical vortex end such a move over a unit, move it the smallest amount possible in any direction so that it can be placed on the battlefield, not touching the bases of any models. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna try to keep commentary not to the Chaos Dragon. Oh, the comment result bonus. Thank you. So we're gonna try to keep the commentary about what we're talking about. I know people are gonna point out things on other pages we haven't got to yet. This is not what I was expecting, but without any further context, it's fine, but could be better. So I was expecting those of you who played previous editions, 8th edition, if a vortice went over a unit, it would bounce through them. and it would bounce through multiple other units and do a bunch of damage to multiple units. But it was early FAQ'd back in 8th edition that you only hurt the unit that you actually moved over with the D6 movement. Anything that you incidentally hit it after that, just as you passed through everything, was undamaged. That is what I expected to happen in this game, but that's not what happened here. It just means you move at the shortest distance, which might be back towards the spot it came from. But as it stands right now, if it can't move back the way it came from, interesting. It's going to come up with, this is not going to be a problem. This is going to come up with some interesting discussions on the tabletop of which way this template is going to move and if it's going to hit other units or not. No more bouncing through with vortices. So I'm going to assume that's somewhere else, James, or are you James Excellent, right? Are you referring to something later on in this FAQ, or are you just interpreting that from what you read here? I'm going to try my best to ignore you chatters that are talking about things that we're not currently talking about. Or else we'll get all over the place. But yeah, we'll just back up a second about the combat monsters. All that's true. The Warriors of Chaos Dragon, without any other changes, would still get +1 to its combat result. But ultimately, it's a good thing. With the very first blue one. Wait for James to add no more context of James. Interpreting. No. So, well, I mean, so if the vortice hits, I wish I could have a camera on a table to explain. These are two units. The vortice is coming on the thumb side. If it bounces through here, then hits another unit, it's going to do multiple damage. But man, I can't use my words, my hands to describe this. There might be some cases where bouncing through another unit will end up being the shortest distance, thus hitting multiple units. But no longer will you likely be assassinating enemy characters that are trying to hide behind units. But I guess that is still possible if the vortice goes far enough to get to the back end of you. It's going to be an interesting thing in the table. Well, you say Jacob's saying it bounced out the way it came in, but if you throw a pillar of fire, for example, on the front of a unit and it moves far enough that it gets to almost out the back of the unit, it's still going to go the shortest distance out to the back of the unit, which means it might hit another unit. And then go the shortest unit again, which potential. Ooh! Does this open up the potential for the vortices, pillar of fire, for example, to come in on this angle and then out on this angle, which is the shortest distance, but hit another unit that ends up on this angle? Are we going to see a vortice move turn multiple times, possibly? Interesting. I'm excited to find out what happens with that. I'm interested. Ask to mark chats about current topics with OTC on current topic at the start. Oh! Yeah. If you're talking about what I'm talking about, type in a big capital OCT in chat first, so I know that we're talking about what I'm talking about, or else I'm gonna get all kinds of lost. I like that. I'm not that smart. All right, let's move on. Page 108, casting spells. Change the first sentence to read after the bullet points as follows: a wizard can attempt to cast a number of spells equal to their wizardry per turn, level wizard per turn, and may only attempt to cast each spell once per turn. So, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that really affects. I know like High Elves, Grand Cathay, Warriors of Chaos, Dark Elves can all have a familiar type thing to have a fifth spell, but you rarely get to cast all 5 spells in the turn. We are now entering the rules as true flail hero. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna be that big of a deal. I can't think off the top of my head if does that affect Tomb Kings, anybody? Wizard changes are great. Well, so I'll let you know, Iduff, and I guess everybody else is watching, that there is what I know was being play tested, what was rumored to come out, and what actually is here on release day rarely all lines up perfectly. So I'm being cautious about the wizard stuff as I read, because I don't know. I had different information. Steve, it has to move by the smallest amount possible and not over any animals, so highly likely to go over the unit. So again, that is untrue because of where its final position lands. If its final position lands over top of multiple units, I'm saying that this is not a. It's going to be a black and white answer most of the time how to handle the vortice, but it's not going to be cut and dry, perfect. Like several times throughout your what do you want to call the word I'm looking for? As you play this game, you're going to find interesting interactions with the vortices. Now, you're going to go, huh, interesting. I know how to handle that, but I never would have thought it's going to end up over in this spot. But that's going to happen, I guarantee you guys. It's just, yeah, when you add random, and especially the way they wrote that FAQ or that errata, which is, I'm not against it. I'm not against that, I think. I'm not against that errata. Like, okay, so just to back up a second. So there was a game where I threw a pillar of fire down the side of one enemy unit. It was near the start of the game. They're all deployed all next to each other. So it went through the entire army effectively. This FAQ is not going to prevent that. Unless the intent is to not go through. Because if you go through one unit and you end up on top of another unit, the fastest way to get through that unit is towards the next unit, but you could argue you can go back the other way. You know what? On the table, it'll be interesting to point out stuff with the vortex. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. It's going to be one of those things we're going to know with our guts how to handle. A DC scatter has at least 1.5 outside the menu. It's likely to pop on the same side. Likely, but not guaranteed. That's my point. We could already envision likely how the vortices are going to bounce around, but there's going to be weird situations on certain angles that it went when units are next to each other in weird positions. There's going to be things. I'm not saying it's going to be like, oh, how do we handle this? I'm just saying it's going to be like, oh, look how we handled this. But anyway, just move on. I think we got to look at that. Okay, where we going? Casting spells. We did that one. Casting rule, casting result, and casting value. Change the second paragraph as follows. Do I have to pull that up? Probably not. The casting wizard's level of wizardry is then divided by 2, rounding fractions up. When you cast a spell, instead of casting +4, wizard level 4, you add +2. You add half your wizard level, your casting value. I don't have to pull that up. I know that page. For example, if a level 2 wizard makes a casting roll of 1 and 6, and the result would be 8. 1 plus 6 on the dice. +1 first level. 7. Wait. No, sorry. 1 plus 6 is 7. Oh my god. And then +1 first casting level. Okay, so this is something that I actually suggested. Not that this is my idea. I'm not claiming that whatsoever. This is something I said the game should adopt a year and a half ago. This is something similar that was used in the Warhammer Armies project. It's not exact, but this is something I wanted to see a long time ago. However, you know what? I can't go ahead because I don't know everything that's in this book. There's potentials that dominoes into something I don't like, but we'll get to it. As it stands right now, if I read nothing else in FAQ and nothing else changes, that's probably a good change. Though, that's a heavy nerf to illusion magic. It'll be a lot harder to cast spells. And magic resistance is way more powerful now. Wow, just that alone? All right, spoiler anybody in chat. Is there a change of MR in this FAQ? Because I'm never going to get a spell off of Crom's list ever again. Okay, we just move on. Page 109. Barely controlled power. Change the last sentence as follows. However, a wizard cannot attempt to cast any more spells the remainder of the current turn. The wizard can't. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's a miscast. Just pull that up so we all see. Also, in chat, because I have like 5 pages open up and chat just scrolls by, just make sure you at Mountain Ventures if it's something I need to see. Barely control power. Oh, I don't know why I had to look that up. I knew that one. Okay. So, no longer does a miscast that you roll 8+. Oh man, that's a massive change. Let me read that again. Change the last sentence. So the rule now works as the wizard manages to control the magic, but at expense of great power. The spell is cast at its casting value, so that part's still there. However, you can't. Okay, so when you miscast an A+, the spell still goes off. That wizard can't cast anymore. Okay. Okay. People who hate spellcasters don't like that FAQ, but I think it's okay. All right. Page 110, Wizardly Dispels. Change the second paragraph after the bullet points as follows. Wizards that are fleeing or that are not on the battlefield cannot be nominated. Well, come on. I don't think anybody was doing that. Wizards that engage in combat can only be nominated to dispel spells that target them or their unit. Interesting. Okay. The first half is Games Workshop saying, knock it off. Obviously, you can't do that. And then the second half is you can dispel. That's a positive change. It's a positive change. Normally, when, like, say, for example, an enemy has Spectral Doppelganger as an assailant spell, and they're casting it on your unit, and your wizard is in that unit. The wizard can't dispel, but now they can. Very good change. Dispel roll and dispel result. Change the first sentence of the second paragraph as follows. If you are attempting a wizardly dispel, the spell roll is modified by adding the wizard's level of wizardry divided by... Oh, so you dispel is the same thing as we no longer dispel at our wizard level, but half our wizardly level, just like we cast. Power game's got a power game? I don't know what that means, Victor. I don't know what that means. Page 11, Dispelling remains in play spells. Change the second sentence of the paragraph as follows. To do so, you may attempt either a Fated Dispel or a Wizardly Dispel, provided the wizard making the attempt is within the spell range of the wizard that casts a spell, or, in the case of a Vortex, within range of the template representing the spell. Another positive change. However, I think the answer is yes, but I gotta double check. Does Column of Crystal count as a vortex? It should, right? Yes, perfect. Excellent. No, Mandalore, we just started. We're on page 1 of the rule. We're going to the rule book first, and we're on page 1. Okay, ward saves. Change entry as follows. What? We're changing ward saves? Representing magical protection of some sort, ward saves are made in the same manner as armor saves by rolling a d6 and comparing the result of the warding value. A ward save's warding value is always given in either... Oh, I see what's happening here. A warding value description of the item... So they changed the word armor value of ward save to warding value. This should have been done a year ago. Basically, this is kind of meaningless. We are all, for the most part, already playing it this way. Basically, Plague of Rust cannot affect your ward save. I'm assuming that's going to come up for Regen as well shortly. Jacob just posted a picture in the Discord about the vortices moving around. Remind me when we go live tonight, Jacob. I have an example for you that I think you haven't thought of yet. Not that it matters. Okay, page 1 done. So far, I like. The fighting rank, page 145, change the entry as follows. When 2 opposing units are engaged in combat, any row of models, be it rank or file, in which 1 or more models in base contact with the enemy is a fighting rank. Okay. Any model that is within the fighting rank and within a number of inches equal to his movement of the enemy can fight. This represents models close. That was my suggestion a year ago. To address your question, Jacob, I don't want to get off track, so I want to stay on this video, but you are right, but there's more to it than... Okay, anyways. So, yeah, I suggested exactly that, and screw you, dwarf players. You guys have been over long enough. I'm sorry, Tall Cash. No more Linehammer dwarf nonsense for you guys. Move on. Supporting attacks. Change entry as follows. Models whose weapons allow them to make a supporting attack can do so if they are in the rank directly behind the fighting rank of their unit and within a number of inches equal to their move. Sure. Sure. This is... These two this page 145 FAQs doesn't affect me and my play group whatsoever. We don't do fighting rank nonsense. Even when we go wide, I'll quote wide with our units, we feel bad and they're always going to be within their movement value already. So this doesn't affect me, my channel, my play group in any way, shape, or form. Shut up, Victor. Alright, charging units. Change the second sentence of the first paragraph as follows. To represent this, models gain a modifier to their initiative characteristic during the combat phase in which they charge. What's changed there? Change the second sentence. To represent this, models gain a modifier to their initiative characteristic during the combat phase. I have no idea what's different about that. Because as far as I know, that's actually the rule currently in the game. So what are we adjusting with? Remember, nobody has to play this FAQ in errata. You can continue your play group can play any way you want. Like this is just for strangers, meeting at a game store. We're all on the same page. Page 146, charging. What? Oh, right here. Oh, for the remainder of the turn. Wait. See, your initiative is modified for the remainder of the turn. Previously, current FAQ is for the combat phase. Why does that matter? They both have to a maximum of 10. So right now, your initiative modifier only lasts the combat phase. Once the combat phase is over, I can't think of a single rule in the game that uses your initiative post-combat phase. Right? Right? Okay. Well, I don't see why that change is put in there. Page 170, fly. Initiative test. Yeah, but what initiative test are you taking? Dudley, what initiative test you're taking after the combat? Are there any vortices in the game that you could end up pursuing over that require initiative checks? Pre-combat phase? Yeah, I don't think there's anything pre-combat I'm worried about either. So you charge. Then you do the rest of your movements. Not going to apply there. Then you got shooting. You're already in combat. Not going to apply there. Yeah, I can't think of... Interesting. If anybody in chat can point out a reason for this, let me know. I can't think of a reason. Anyways, keep moving on. So, page 170, Fly X. Change the first paragraph of the rules as follows. Except when following up or pursuing. Ooh! A model with a special rule can choose to move by flying through the air rather than moving across the ground as normal. When a model flies, it uses special fly movement characteristic shown in bracket. So let me just double check that. Because for the longest time, Luke has been saying this already existed when it doesn't. But his gut manifested it to be true. So change the first paragraph of the rule as follows. Okay, so you can no longer pursue or run. Except when following up or pursuing a model with a special rule. Oh. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, okay. So previously, you could pursue over top of a target and hit another target, and now you can't. This is a good change. This is how the game should have worked a long time ago. Remaining move phase spells again. Fate Stay Dreamer. You have to give me. I think you're addressing the charging units thing. You have to give me a specific thing because there isn't anything I can think of that does that. Okay, so the fly change is a positive one that I know some of you are already playing it that way. Frenzy, make me like this special rule. Change the first paragraph as follows: during a turn in which it made a charge move, or During the turn after made a follow-up move, a frenzy model has a +1 modifier to its attack characteristics. However, a frenzy rider is not conferred to their mount. Did they nerf frenzy? Did they make a rule I already dislike worse? No. Okay, I'm just checking. I'm checking documents. I'm checking chat. See if I'm missing anything. I know there's a bit of a chat delay. Okay, so a direct nerf to frenzy, which I don't think is warranted. Frenzy is now furious charge with the 3-inch rule. Change the first paragraph. I'm assuming. Where's the part that forced them to charge? Frenzy plus one more. Yeah, so they're still okay. Yeah, it's just a direct nerf to frenzy units. I've been saying it for a year. Let's nerf frenzy units. Okay, moving on. I don't know if that one was warranted. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's not move on yet. Actually, just talk about this for 2 seconds. Does anybody have an argument why they needed to nerf frenzy? Things like wood shells would be absolutely bonkers. Said no one ever. Due to new infantry changes, this is needed. Okay, Fate Stay. All right. We'll keep that in mind. We'll just move on then. Interesting. Fair point. Fair point. All right, page 172, impact hits. Oh, next. Okay, there's more next page people are talking about. Impact hits, page 172. Change the second paragraph, blah, blah, blah. Impact hits are resolved against the charged unit when the combat is chosen during steps 1.1 of the chosen combat. That's how it used to work. Before issuing challenges. Okay, I like this change. Good. Okay, so quick summary there. Chariots, historically or previously, they did their impact damage right away, and then challenges are issued. How it currently works pre this FAQ is somebody on a chariot, let's say a warrior priest on his war altar comes heavy chariot, charges in, does impact attacks, but if he issues a challenge, all those go into the challengee or the person, well, in a challenge. This is a positive change for me. I do love chariots. It's one of my favorite unit types in the game. I don't like challenges, and fingers crossed. I really hope there's some challenge changes in this book, in this FAQ or in this errata. But yeah, I like this. Let me know if you like this. This one is gonna. It's not that big a deal either way, but this one's gonna. Some people are gonna like it. Some are gonna dislike it. Impetuous change. Change the rule as follows: if during the declare charges and charge reaction subphase of the turn, a unit that includes one or more impetuous models is able to declare a charge and must make a leadership test. If the test is failed, the unit must declare a charge. If the test is passed, the unit may act as normal. Okay. Okay, so for the most part, that is unchanged for impetuous units because most impetuous units are around leadership 7 anyway, so it's 50-50. But if you gain Dragon Princes for High Elf Dragon Lord with the Blood of Keldor upgrade. They have leadership 10 impetuous, so those better. But like for things like Pistoliers, they're still effectively 50-50 impetuous. But it did say two things. During the declared charges and charge. Oh, sorry, it's the same subphase. Nah, Kyle, okay, Pistoliers are like exactly the same. Well, they're 5% less likely to be impetuous. Still, there's still 45% impetuous, like 45% chance charging and costing you the game. But Pistoliers are still useless even with this rule. Just take Road Wardens instead. Large target. Oh, please, please, let this not be what I was told it is. Large targets do not benefit from partial or full cover. Yep. In addition, a unit can draw a line of sight to a large target over or through another unit, and vice versa, provided the unit is also a large target. Oh, sorry, also not a large target. Finally, a unit that shoots at a large target can shoot with one additional rank. He did it. This is a mistake. This is bad, and I'll explain why in a second. I knew this was coming too. For example, a unit armed with crossbows can shoot it at with this. Okay, no, I got so. There are magic items like the spider banner that go on units of 60 goblins that volley fire or have all 60 goblins shoot at a dragon, a large target. This is a prime example of the mistake Games Workshop used to write when they did their FAQs for 40k and 8th edition. They saw a problem, they FAQ'd that problem at a tournament or whatever. They saw a problem at a tournament, they FAQ'd that problem at a tournament, and it domino affected 10 other things they didn't think about. So poison shooting can't do 60 poison shootings. They needed to fix that banner, not all these units. There's no reason whatsoever why you had to nerf, for example, high elf archers having the whole unit shoot at a dragon. That did not need to be done. I know there's the poison FAQ I knew was coming. The poison nerfs I knew was coming. IDF. But yeah, that this is to address a problem. I'm 100% positive of this because I know how this came about. This is to address a problem, but it's gonna nerf things that didn't need to be nerfed. Poison. Luke is gonna love this change. I'm not a big fan of this. I would rather. Well, I'll read it first. Change the first sentence rule for each roll of a hit of natural 6 for the poison attacks. They may apply a +2 modifier to the rolls to wound. So poison is about half as effective. There was no need to nerf wood elves and their poison to address the Night Goblin 60 poison bow attack or mass skink poison blowpipes. This was a bad way of handling the problem. You should have addressed those units, not the poison across the board. However, I know some of you absolutely hate poison, but yeah, this is a massive nerf to a lot of things that didn't need to be done. Like gutter runners didn't need the nerf. Skinks, blowpipes could have used the nerf, but like not in this regard. That unit was undercosted, make it more expensive. All you have to do to fix most of the poison stuff is make stuff like the spider banner for the Orcs and Goblins not work on ranged attacks. Problem solved. This is a mistake. So I'll tell you guys straight up how bad, how I want to say bad. What's even better? How not understanding of their own game. This actually makes me feel like if this was the FAQ, if this was it, I would just ignore this. I would say that this is a bad errata, and we just mountainminiatures won't use the spider banner on point. This is ultimately a nerf to a couple of things that were a problem competitively, but more importantly, it's also a nerf to a bunch of things that aren't good already. Like Wood Elves didn't need this nerf. The large target didn't need a nerf for like the high elves and a bunch of like this is whack-a-mole problem tournament stuff. We Games Workshop, we made these mistakes in 8th edition 40k. You don't need to do it over here. Address the problem. Don't whitewash everything. If you disagree with me in chat, point it out. But like Wood Elf poison archers were not a problem. Wood Elves and high elves mass bow firing at a Hell Pit Abomination or a giant spawn or a chaos dragon, that wasn't a problem. You say +2 wound isn't terrible, it's mathematically significantly worse. Poison today is likely 50% worse on the targets you want to use poison. No, sorry, let me rephrase that. As of today, as of this FAQ, poison is 50% worse on every target you use poison on anyway. And it's a little bit better on things that you didn't need the auto 6 to wound. So if you're firing at infantry that you're wounding on 4s anyway, now you're wounding them on 2s, but that's actually 17% worse than it was. You get armor bait now. True, Stavi, you do get armor bait now if you roll that 6 to wound afterwards. It is totally. I disagree. It is terrible for some units. It is a fix to some things that need to be fixed, and it's a nerf to some things that did not need to be nerfed. So without looking at the rest of the FAQ, what this makes me worried about is are they going to address a bunch of tournament things when I'm going to make fake numbers and pull them out of my ass here or whatever. If 20% of the audience is competitive players and 80% of the audience is not, if we have to take data from tournament. We have no choice. It's the only thing we get data from. But if we're going to fix everything for these guys and ruin everything for these guys, it's probably not a good thing. Calista, but Steve, now you can put Razor Banner on. Oh, shut up, Calista. Let me mark that. This regeneration. Do I have to read this whole thing, or is it basically the same as before? It would still be, without looking up, Jacob, I remember it was still proccing on unmodified 6. Oh, well, that's how I would play it anyway. Change the rules follows immediately after a wound is lost, but before a model with the 0 wounds remaining is removed from play. A model with this special rule will make a regeneration save. But by rolling a d6 compared to the regeneration value. Are we just changing the word regeneration value? They changed it a bit, eh? Well, let's just go to page 176 to make sure. Immediately after a wound is lost, but before models with 0 wounds remaining are removed from play. I don't understand what all those words are added for. A model with this special will make a regeneration save roll by rolling a d6, comparing the result to its regeneration value. If the regeneration save roll equals to blah blah, the lost wound is recovered, but still counted. How does it say in the rule book? Model with this special rule will make a regeneration save. The armor valuable. Who cares? What are we looking at here? Oh, it's after multipliers. Oh, I see. Fair. Oh, okay. Regeneration got a little worse. That's probably not a bad thing for the game. Okay. Oh, it's like feel no pain. Yeah, fair, Victor. Fair. Yeah, I like it. Is anybody dislike that? I think it's a positive change. Stomp attacks X. Change the second sentence to stomp attacks or. So stomp attacks are after initiative. That's the only change? Okay. I think it's how it used to work well, previously as well. I'm okay with that as well. I like that. Did the game need to have. So, Mike. This is going to sound weird. Stomp attacks being after initiative 1 makes sense. All down for that. Do we need that? Does that matter? Are we just adding things? Stupidity. Ooh. Lots of changes here. Unless it's fleeing or engaging combat, a unit with a special rule must make a stupidity test by testing against the leadership value to start the turn. If it's failed, stupid. Can't move. Oh, can't move at all. Can't shoot or cast spells. Cannot attempt a wizardly dispel. Must hold if charged by enemy. It's for dragon challenges and overkill. Ooh, did that mean that they put in? Is there like an initiative? Does initiative matter in challenges now, Kyle? We're jumping ahead. I know what's coming. Cannot move. Okay, stupidity. Okay, we made stupidity very, very dangerous. This is stupidity now is officially the most punishing version of stupidity that has existed ever in Games Workshop stuff. Sorry, Warhammer Fantasy. I don't care. I hate stupidity as it is, but all those things make sense. Change the rules follows for Swiss Stride. A unit which consists entirely of models with a special rule must increase its maximum possible charge range by 3, and before making a charge flip roll, multiply C6 modifier to the result. That is just... That's the last FAQ, isn't it? What page is that? 178? That just tells you have to decide to roll the extra D6 before you roll. Just double check that to make sure. Yeah, this tells you to add before. It's called stupidity for a reason. No more rolling I have gods for wizards. I know, for sure. Can stupid not use the generals? Can stupid not use the generals anymore? What do you mean? Let me double check that. Okay, you think because it says stupidity tests against its leadership? Well, the rule for what's it called? Inspiring presence says you use the general's leadership as if it's your leadership, so you're good. You're still using your general's leadership. Vanguard. Oh, you can't charge after Vanguard anymore. I like that. It's how it's been in every other edition. How it should be now. Ooh, it changed the warband. Change the second sentence of the rule as follows. However, a warband cannot use its modifier whose leadership should it ever choose to make a restraint test. That's how it already works. If it is impetuous when testing to see if it must declare a charge. Oh! Alright, fine. Not that that matters in any way, shape, or form. I joked earlier in this video that frenzies is like my least favorite rule. Actually, like the one thing I remove from this game would be impetuous. I hate the rule impetuous. I think there's a clarification elsewhere about own leadership may be causing confusion. Interesting. Okay, we'll look for that change coming up. Quick turn. Change the entry as follows. Unless it marched, a unit that is in open order may pivot about its center, changing its face up to 90 degrees after moving during the remaining move subphase. I don't know what the change is there, because as far as I know, that is currently the rule in the game. That's how quick turn works. We'll check that. After moving, enlisted, charged, marched, or fled. Oh. Oh, okay. You can quick turn only in the remaining move subphase. I'm 100% positive that's the only time I've ever used quick turn. But I guess somebody could argue that you could fall back in good order and then do a quick turn. I guess you could have for this FAQ. Who cares? Can't do it now. I think it means you can pivot after marching. No, unless it marched. But you can't quick turn unless if you march, you can't quick turn. However, there is a rule. Fast Cav, their rule is they can do a quick turn after marching. Skirmishers in combat. Change the second paragraph as follows. Skirmishers will remain in close formation until the combat is order, i.e., they are not engaged with enemy. Blah, blah, blah. At which point, Mauls must separate, moving the smallest amount possible once again to adopt the skirmish formation. Okay. I think that's something that. Well, one after we finish combat, I can't let the Mauls alone. I think Luca would separate his Mauls a little bit because the visual appeal. So now you're just forced to do it, which is good because there's probably more. Yeah, there. Skirmishers and charging. A unit of skirmishers may charge an enemy unit that is visible to more than half of its models when the charge declared. Ugh. That is gonna slow games down. Oh, and you can't reserve moving quick turn. Thank you, Professor. Oh, that's a good point. You cannot reserve moving quick turn anymore. However, off the top of my head, that new Beastman spell I think still allows you to. Get to that later. Add the following to the end of the second paragraph. If any skirmishers are unable to form up, the unit is considered to have lost its coherency, as described on page 184. What is lost coherency? Okay, you just killed them all. Yeah, film here. I think you're right. It's talking about quick turn being after like pursue and stuff. Okay, you're really gonna have to think more with your skirmish. Excuse me, with your skirmishers to make sure they're not blobbed up so much that if they're too tight of a formation, you can't charge anything ever. Man. So if you're in a really big blob formation, you might not be able to charge 360 degrees anymore because you can't see your target. If you spread too far out, you might get caught in multiple things. Interesting. Oh no! This is gonna fall. This skirmish change is going to work functionally. It's just gonna slow the game down. Anybody got any issues with the skirmish stuff? This change stops Pegasus Knights from lancing multiple units for cover and charging. Yeah, that's true too. So, I know Richie, good guy, will take multiple units of gyrocopters and intermingle them amongst each other, so they're all getting cover. But now they won't be able to charge anything because they won't be able to. Yeah, so this is a positive thing to stop the jank, but this is gonna slow down regular old narrative or casual gameplay because this channel and my play group doesn't do the jank, well, intentionally anyway. This is a net negative for me. It's just going to slow down the games. Regular infantry rules change entry as follows: oppressive battle. In the heat of battle, orderly ranks become a swirling melee, except during a turn in which it charged. The fighting rank of a unit that has a special rule and arrayed in combat order is not one but two ranks deep. In other words, models that are directly behind and in base contact with models in the actual fighting rank are considered to be within the fighting rank. Oh. Regular infantry only. I want to make sure that I know what regular infantry is. That's heavy and is heavy infantry regular infantry? No, they're not. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Tanako, I'm totally down with reworking the skirmish rules. They work. They're too clunky. Um, does oh okay, hold on. I don't you guys can't see my cursor on the screen. So if you read 3 paragraphs down, heavy infantry gets this as well. Okay, so we're now fighting in 2 ranks for infantry. Well, so far for regular infantry. Massed infantry. Numbers alone can sometimes overcome the foe. When determining combat results, if one side has a higher unit strength than the other, and includes one or more units with a special rule, the side may claim a +1 combat result. Okay, so massed infantry, if you have a higher total unit strength, one side, yeah, higher total. Okay, so fighting 2 ranks, outnumber the enemy for infantry, parry. With sword and shields, warriors attempt to deflect enemy attacks. Whilst engaging in close combat, a model with this special rule equipped with and chooses to use a hand weapon and shield improves its armor by 1 to a maximum of 3. Does heavy get that? Oh my god. Warriors of Chaos. Re-up armor. Oh. If we take that into effect with the match play book, that's gonna make some infantry very defensive. Okay, so heavy gets all 3 of those. And we're not talking about anything else. Okay. So this is just a buffed infantry, great, and overall nerf to dragons. One more combat result, meaning don't charge me, dragon. For big blocks of infantry. Jade Warriors instantly boosted. Chris neat. Hey, Nico. We got it. Spears. Spears just do the extra rank thing. We have to look that up. Yeah, we're good on them. They're gonna fight in the 3rd rank. Page I weapons of war. Change it first, second period. However, a war machine can freely pivot above its center immediately before shooting. The better to face the enemy and make a follow up as normal. Change the first sentence to the 2nd paragraph. What are we talking about there? That Here's the first sentence of the second paragraph. A war machine consists of several models. That's not. Dr. V, thank you, gifting 10 mounted miniatures memberships. Super appreciate that, brother. Working on the FAQ. We're getting through. If you got a membership from Dr. V, you can thank him. Watch all the handheld videos, join the Discord. However, a war machine can freely pivot above the center. Change the first sentence of the second paragraph. The first paragraph. Oh, under weapons of war. I'm looking at the wrong spec. However, a war machine can freely pivot in time during its turn to face the enemy and make a fall moves or more. So the war machine pivot, it does not count as moving. Wait, what is this here for? No, Fate Stay. Okay, hold on. We're going to back up a second. Face. I got to address something for Fate Stay. Fate Stay Dreamer. You're still not in base contact. You're still in the fighting rank by being in that second rank for massed infantry, but you're not in base contact, so you're only going to get one attack. It's like being in the fighting rank with frenzy and two hand weapons, but you're way off on a big long line hammer type thing. You may have like 5 attacks in the very front rank, but if you're not in base contact, you only get to make 1 attack. Same thing with the second rank for the massed infantry special rule. You only get 1 attack. Oh, it's a big one, Dr. V. This is a big FAQ. It's a big errata. So let's go back to this war machine thing, because it just means if you pivot, you now suffer the penalties for moving, which you'd never need to pivot because you're a skirmisher, unless they change that. Second rank benefit from frenzy. If a model is able to fight but is not in base contact in a model, it can make only 1. Yeah. I think the war machine clarification is to say you can shoot in any direction without penalty, but you can already do that because that's what skirmish gives you. War machines already have skirmish, but I guess it wasn't enough. What is this weapon of war change mean? However, a war machine can freely pivot about its center immediately before shooting, the better to face the enemy. However, a war machine can freely pivot at any time during its turn to better face the enemy. You only pivot before you shoot. That's the change so far. And you make a follow-up move as normal. And you make a follow-up as normal. Oh, just change the second. So the next sentence still applies and does not count as moving. As Trey said. What did Trey say? Trey didn't. Right. It's to keep you from abusing terrain features or hide your machine after shooting. Oh. Fair. I don't even think of those things. That's jank and not in the spirit of the game. I get you. So for 95% of us, this doesn't matter in any way, shape, or form. It's gotcha. It's to hide from the enemy. Makes sense. Okay. See everybody. This FAQ is because you tournament players. I'm kidding. But it is. Enemy shooting page 209. Change the first paragraph as follows. Oh, plus 11 combat res on state troops, Griffin Banner, and BSB. I'm not sure how that works yet, but I'm excited to find out, Felix. Thank you for the super chat. Enemy shooting. Change the first paragraph as follows. A character that has joined a unit of models the same troop type of them, i.e. infantry or cavalry, cannot be targeted by enemy shooting unless. Change the first sentence of the second paragraph. If there are fewer than 5 rank and file models of the same troop type as the character in the unit, controlling player must first allocate. That's the same. Nothing to talk about there. Or at least function is. Look up, sir. Change the first sentence as follows. The character is hit by a shooting attack. If there are 5 or more rank and file models of the same troop type in the character's unit, the character can make a look up, sir. Okay? Anything to touch there? Am I missing anything there? Damned Warhammer Fantasy players. They ruined Warhammer Fantasy. Just like the Scots. Page 211. Challenges and mounts. Delete the second sentence and add as follows. Note that if either participant is slain before the rival or mount can make an attack, the attacks are lost. This is a massive nerf to challenges. Let's just go there just to double check. but I'm okay with it. Challenges and mouse delete this page. Oh, here. The right. Yeah, okay. So you're gonna get a whole lot less overkill now once you're dead. So at this point, without going any further, I'm gonna once again champion the idea. Let's just remove the challenge rules from the game. They don't work. They're now only a feel bad mechanic. That means when a dragon charges in to combat with apparently uh Empire state troops with +11 combat result, the champion challenges gets killed by like the rider's first 4 attacks. Maybe he gets 4 attacks, maybe 3 get through and kill the model. He gets 3 combat res, no longer a close order, and going up against the 11, and he's double outnumbered. Like the dragon is an auto loss against many things, which is not a bad thing for the game. Don't get me wrong. It just they made the so challenges don't work. What they are good for defensively, janking the game that make no sense to end combats, to make big powerful characters, which I don't like. Don't get me wrong. To turn them off, it just makes no sense. Let's just remove the challenge rules from this freaking game, or rework them from the ground up. The challenge rules have been largely unchanged for 9 editions. It's just the rules keep changing, the challenges don't. They don't work, they're just a feel bad mechanic. I don't even like Hero Hammer, but let's remove the challenge mechanics. OCT, challenges should only be for character combat, not sergeant. Maybe they put that in this FAQ. I don't think they did. Challenges are now defensive like Horus Heresy. Yeah, challenges are defensive, they're lame. They're only for abusing the system. Challenges are for people. Challenges, sorry, Jedi boss. Challenges are for the people, Steve. Let that polyder take on that 4,000-year-old elf on a dragon. Makes no sense. It's completely disengaging from the narrative for me. It is just takes me right out of the game. Page 212 and 214. Change the weapon profile as false. You know what? I'm going to talk to Luca, and I want to implement not a house rule. I don't like those. A gentlemanly agreement that we just no longer issue challenges in our battle reports. The rules are there. We can choose to use them. We're just going to choose not to ever issue them. If he agrees to that, I will happily implement that. But either way, this FAQ will be implemented in tonight's stream because I can't see anything that's so drastic that's going to throw us off too much. So I am worried so far that my Shujengen Lords has got a massive nerf. I already don't think they're that good because of the spellcasting thing. Page 212 and 214. Oh, the flail just got slightly better. The flail gets armor bane, but only gets armor bane and its strength bonus on turn, first round of combat. Oh! Only when they charge. You have to charge to get the flail bonus. Interesting. So no, it's a nerf. And a minor buff. Do I like that? Do we like that? Big Crom nerf with Gentleman's Agreement? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. He's immortal anyway, Flammable Hero. It doesn't matter. Flail is got a nerf and a minor buff on one guard. I don't think I care because the Flail was probably really good. Well, I got mega nerfed? It's still AP too. I don't think it's that bad. We hate this? Makes Flagellants much worse? No, it doesn't. I don't think it does. Flagellants are going to lose their whole fighting rank before they swing anyway, and only when they charge when they swing anyway. I actually don't think it matters that much. They needed the... yeah, those are too strong. This is a good change. Yeah, I'm okay with this change. I love flails. Like, the Chaos Marauders are still going to get their strength bonus all the time. They charge all the time. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. I like this. These weapon changes are not as bad as it seems. Yeah, I agree. Okay, more than one combat weapon. Change the first bullet. Alright, who cares? Nothing to talk about with more than one combat weapon. Halberds are AP2 when the wielder charges. Flail's Frenzy and other rules are changed to be on turn they charge. It doesn't work on the next turn after follow-up. Yeah, I think that's probably an overall good thing, Trey. Especially since it looks like infantry is going to be more appealing going forward, even with the mission pack. Keep that in mind too, everybody. The oh, it's not even here. Something, or actually, the match play guide, which is not just tournaments, it's a match play guide. You can use it for all your games. In fact, we may use it quite often on my channel or this channel. With all those changes all coming together, might be just all positive things. You can switch weapons in combat, so spears or weapon shield. Good change. That said, if a unit is engaged in combat equipped with 2 or more combat weapons, you must choose which weapon will fight when the combat is chosen during step 1.1 of each. Oh, you get to swap your weapons around. Good. I kind of glossed over that. I don't like the parry rule. I also don't like the parry rule. I actually liked that this edition of the game lowered everybody's armor value. But we just increased it. I actually, like, does it ruin the game for me? No. We're talking about parry. Does it ruin the game for me? No. Do I like it? No. I'd rather it's not there. Some people are going to like it, some people are going to dislike it. There's always going to be things like that. Anyways, back to the game. Halberds, AP2 on the turn they charge. I don't think that is all that interesting still, but focusing on charging. Change the weapon profile. Oh, the Morningstar. Oh, same as the flail, I'm assuming. The Morningstar, strength modifier, and armor bane apply when it charges. Yep. Are there even Morningstars in the game still? Who is the Morningstar? There's a Bretonnian magic weapon that's a Morningstar. Lance. Change weapons notes as follows. Mauls with this troop type or Mauls whose troop type is cavalry monster only. Oh, you can't have a lance in a chariot? A lance can only be used during turn when a wielder charged, and its strength and armor piercing modifiers applies against enemy Mauls the wielder charged that turn. That's interesting. So this comes up actually quite a bit in a regular old battle report. And we kind of already played this way. So you have a unit of your knights, you charge into combat, or maybe your knight, it doesn't really matter. You have a unit of your knights to charge into combat, they kill their unit outright, they overrun and end up into another enemy unit, and they're going to fight that unit in the next round of combat on your opponent's turn. But your opponent charged something into your knights. We kind of already played that the lance bonus only worked against the target you charged, but now it's official. Is it a normal weapon choice for a Bretonnian character, Wyatt? I don't think I've ever seen anybody use a Morningstar. Maximum armor value. Change entry as follows. Infantry and cavalry can never have armor better than 2+. That already exists. That's not changed. Oh, chariot, monster, war machine can never have armor value better than 3+. Good. Good. So no more 2-up dragons. Again, doesn't really affect me that often because we just don't use dragons that often. Oh, I guess there's no point in buying full plate chaos armor for your Shaggoth anymore. We had one battle report. We had one live stream with the 2-up armor Shaggoth. They died anyway. Spoiler. Okay. What? Is that green? Is anybody else seeing crunch in green ink? Change the second bullet point as follows. If the path of the cannibal hits a hill, that's what's right. Oh, we ignore this FAQ. This is a bad FAQ that we ignore on this channel. Cannons can bounce over hills. We just don't abuse the nonsense of it. The rule also clarifies that armor going to 1+ doesn't help you AP wise. Yeah, but I mean, Giant Pie already did, in my opinion. But yeah, I guess some people take biases from previous editions and can't get them out of their head. There's a lot still. Page 286, dead or fled. Change the third bullet point as follows. Each enemy unit that has been reduced to 25% of its starting unit strength or less at the end of the battle, if the unit strength is equal to... If its unit strength is equal to its starting wounds, or 25% of its starting wounds at the end of the battle, it's worth a number of victory points equal to... Oh my god! Luke is going to love that. You can almost kill that dragon now and get a bunch of points off of it. Doesn't matter if it ran away with a couple of wounds left. That's a very positive change for the game. Yeah, James, if you're talking about the hill FAQ for a second, you put your war machines on a hill, they're almost immune to enemy cannon fire. Like the cannon has to directly hit it, which is not the intent. Like I don't understand why they didn't fix an FAQ on this, but there is some jank that people were abusing competitively with hills. We're not going to talk about that because we never do that in this channel, and so we don't have to worry about that at all. That rules in the match play guide too. We're talking about the Dead or Fled points change. Perfect. Pillar of Fire. I need a moment. I can't see. Are we getting the appropriate change? Are they gonna fix this monstrosity? Change the third, fourth, fifth stitches. While in play, the template tree has difficult terrain. It scatters a d6. Scatters. They fixed it. It took a year and a bit, but they fixed it. They fixed it. Pillars nerfed 3 times? Well, please, it should have been. Okay, we love it. We love it. This is the best FAQ. Pillar Fire is definitely not dead. It's still dangerous. Sorry, it's still difficult terrain, which is enormous. You just no longer like the spell. It was just abused. It was so abused. You know what? Let's take a moment. For some of you, we're gonna take a moment of silence for the loss of your Pillar of Fire. For the rest of us, we're gonna take a moment just to enjoy this change for a second. Yeah, that feels. Dungus, don't make me. Okay, anyways. Arcane Urgency. We're changing the casting values of spells? You mean the cards I bought, that Games Workshop sent to me for free, are no longer valid? I'm going to write in pen on all these cards. 21. Arcane Urgency is 10 to cast. They made it 9 to cast. It's still a nerf. Dark contrast to your reaction to last FAQ, right, Flammable Hero? For those of you who don't know what Flammable Hero is referencing, the last FAQ, I spent I recorded. I didn't go live. I recorded a review. 30 minutes into the recording, I was so angry at the nonsense of some of the things in the FAQ that I stopped the recording and never uploaded it. I might have put it up for members. Can't remember. Okay, so sorry. Arcane Urgency is now casting value 9, which is Tanaka Skylar, Rip Bozo Pillar Fire Rest. Okay, so if you're level 1 and you want to cast Arcane Urgency, this is a buff. If you're level 2 and you want to cast Arcane Urgency, it's exactly the same. So I don't have to scroll up. Does anybody remember off the top of your head when it said you cut your casting value in half? Did it say round up? Like, does a level 3 cast at +2? For the rest of this, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that level 3 is cast at +2. Until somebody in chat says yes, and somebody did. Okay, yeah, I thought so. So you round up. Okay, so level 3s are unchanged for Arcane Urgency, right? Because they're +2 instead of plus. Yeah, and then level 4s, Arcane Urgency is slightly harder to cast. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Arcane Urgency minor changes. Okay, Curse of Cowardly Flight casting value of 8. So same thing. So far, nerfs to level 4s, buffs to level 1s, neutral to level 2s and 3s. Does anybody know how to deal with Banshees now that Pillar of Fire is gone? We'll get to that. I'm assuming Games Workshop just wants you not to play against them. Steed of Shadows, casting value 8. I'm going to go ahead and assume they just lowered the cat. I think they took exactly what I said. This is my idea. It's totally not my idea, guys. This is somebody else's idea. But I have been championing this for a while. Demonic Vessel, lower the casting value. Vortex of Chaos. Oh, Vortex of Chaos. What's the change of Vortex of Chaos? I'm not seeing a change. Probably something so minor doesn't matter. Okay, you know, let's find it first. While some plays treated like difficult terrain, scatters D6 start of every start turn sub phase. While some play, template treated as dangerous terrain, scatters D6 in a random direction during every start move sub phase. What they did, I think, I think. So for the who already made the joke? It was Dingus. I think Games Workshop just added scatter into all of these spells because remember that big argument last year about there's a bunch of people who can't accept that things change and couldn't accept that. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to. These add the word scatter. They add the word scatter so some people would read the rules properly. I get it. Infernal Gateway. That's the next page. That dark magic. Made it easier to cast. Elemental Spirit. No, sorry, Flaming Sword is 7 to cast. Wait, can we go back the wrong way? Made it easier to cast. Summon an Elemental Spirit. Oh, yeah, the scatter word. Okay, we're going to skip over these spells. It looks like they just lowered the casting value of a lot of spells. Ooh, I want to see Miasmic Mirage. That was 11 to cast before, right? Maybe they didn't kill Illusion completely. So Miasmic Mirage is 11 to cast. So it is slightly harder to cast for your level 4. They're difficult, not dangerous terrain. You know why I think that is the case, Trey? So wargamers hate two things: the way it is and change. I know. So I can make a very clear-cut argument that you're always supposed to take the damage every time you move over a template, and the fact that they were templates like vortices in particular, the fact that vortices were also dangerous terrain countered my argument. That's why I never said like this is how you're supposed to do it. I think if they take all these templates and make them not dangerous terrain anymore, it re-solidifies my argument that you're supposed to always take the damage every time you move over a vortice. People, I think, have been misreading the rule. They think when the template moves, it doesn't say that. You take the damage when you touch a moving template. All the vortices are moving templates. I think that just, hopefully we get, you know what? Maybe I'm jumping ahead. Steve, moving through templates, not trigger 6. That's how I'm playing. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Can I just take 2 seconds to be that guy? I'm right again. I've been right every time. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. You know, we haven't got there yet. Ignore this. If future Steve sees this, edit it out later. Don't be arrogant, Steve. It actually said, okay. Did I miss it? Read the change again. Change it to third. Whilst in play, treat a different terrain over which the launch site. Template scatters D6. An enemy that wishes to move through the template or at least moves over. Oh. I'm arrogant and illiterate. I'm just so ready for a fight at all times. I just jumped to 10. Jacob, are you here? You're supposed to keep me reined in. Let's just move on. Cabal, Spiritual Heresy. Any spells we need to stop and read about? Oh! Ruby Ring of Ruin. We'll get to that in a second. Morris from Steve. I did not write this. They just might be watching. Ogre Blade. Change points to 75. Good. That thing was the most ridiculously undercosted. Ruby Ring of Ruin is now 35 points and power level 1. Oh, that makes me so sad. That makes me so sad. But also, that's very reasonable. Let's be fair. I'm still going to bring it into 100% of my I'm here but working. Jacob, you work for me for free. Okay, page 344. The quick reference sheet. Oh, there was a misprint on the quick reference sheet, and they finally fixed it. Oh no, this is also applying to divide the wizard little by two. Nothing there, nothing to talk about on this page. We got this page covered. FAQs. What happens if a scatter roll causes any part of an object to cross beyond the edge of a battlefield? The object is removed from play. Perfect. Can you then switch between GW 5-point magic or Green Knight? You then switch between great weapons. Oh! I don't think so, Dale, because great unless there's no, there was no stipulation on magic weapons. Magic weapons have a rule that you must use them. Fair, Jacob. Fair, Jacob. Fair, Jacob. Okay. What happens if this guy? Okay, blah, blah. Didn't we already play it that way? If your spell hit the table edge, you stick it off the table? I feel like we already played that way. If a model is required to make a leadership test using its own leadership characteristic, can it use the leadership of a different model, the journal, for example, instead? No. What? Okay. Earlier in this video, somebody asked a question, or we talked about something that this is now directly in a reference. But that was so long ago, I do not remember what it was. Oh, Brandon King, I just saw your comment. That's to you, sir. What were we talking about earlier? Well, your own leadership. Later, Callista. Impetuous does not say that pistlers can be saved. Scrolls. Was it Stupidity? Alright, we gotta scroll back up. They did not just take trolls out of the game. They would not make a mistake. Unless engaged in combat, you know the special rule must be suited using against his leadership. Using against its leadership. What? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a second. So, let me tell you how this is going to work, everybody. In a couple of days, they're going to put an FAQ to this FAQ to explain this. This does not mean Stupidity can't use Inspiring Presence. There are no, trust me, guys. That's not what this means. That's not the intent here. The question here is what happens required to make a test using its own leadership. What they mean here is things like Empire Prayers. A model must do leadership using its own leadership. So not the leadership of the unit. That's what they're talking about here. This is 100% not going to affect the trolls. I'll bet the channel on this, guys. It's gonna raw for sure, but like you can't play old world raw. The game doesn't work that way. This is. Don't worry about this. We're troll. Stupidity will still use Inspiring Presence on this channel until Games Workshop fix this. This is 100% not the intent. Don't even like. I'm not even gonna like waste time on this one, guys. People are gonna crash out on this for a couple of days. Don't even worry about it. Some single use. Can somebody in chat write down a few examples of where this actually applies? There's like prayers from priests. There are a few things where it tells you to use your own leadership. There's like a handful in the game. That's what this thing is referring to. This is for priests, not trolls or impetuous. I think this is going to be argued in a way that may screw many. Yeah, it'll be argued, PT, but people are arguing no matter what. Even when rules are as clear as day, like spells scattered right from day one, at all, like or didn't move with the roll direct hit and Saturday. That was clear as day in the rulebook, but some people argued it anyway. Creams, yeah, they're Lich Priests, Impetuous. Yeah, there's until they address this directly, we're gonna go case by case and decide like, oh, this is this what they meant this one to be on? This is definitely 100% is not meant to apply to. Steve is ignoring us today. Steve is cheating. What am I missing? If you don't put OTC, I don't know. You don't know you're talking to me. Falcon Horn's one of them. Red Oak. I don't know what you were referring to. I read ahead. Spoiler: the best item in the game has been changed to one use only. Oh, the Falcon Horn? Yeah, I knew that one was coming. We all knew that one was coming. The people that argue about the people that you don't want to play against anyway. Arguing is part of life, James. Anyways, move on. Some single-use special rules and magic items require leadership tests to use. Do they count as being used even if the test is failed? Yes. Yeah, of course they do. Can different saves be combined together to improve their save value? For example, if a model has 2 ward saves, this has to be FAQ'd. Can they be combined to give a single ward with a better warding value? No. There is nothing in the rule book that would suggest otherwise. Why do we have to FAQ this? Yeah, that sounds terrible, PT. Ah, what the heck? There's a lot still. All right, I'll try to pick up the pace. How many spells can a wizard attempt to cast during a single phase? For example, a wizard knows a magical vortex, a magical missile. Can they attempt to cast both in the same shooting phase? A wizard can cast a number of spells up to their level of wizardly per turn, but can attempt to cast multiple spells during a single phase. In other words, should a level 2 wizard know 2 magic missiles and 1 vortex, 3 spells, they can only cast 2 of them per turn. Yeah. Some people still think wizards can't cast multiple magic missiles in a phase. That's true, Flamboyant. Okay, right. Oh yeah. I wonder if these FAQs need to be actually read. If a remains in play spell with 2 casting values is cast at a higher value, which is used when trying to dispel it during the Conjuration subphase. As stated on page 111, in order to dispel a remains in play spell during your Conjuration phase, you must beat the minimum casting value in the spell description. This is the case even if the spell is higher. Yeah. This so rules is written. How many remains in play? Nothing there. I'm going to skim. So this is the part of the video where I'll try to just skim if there's anything actually worth talking about. Come on. This is kind of dumb. If a single model unit straddles 2 arcs of an enemy unit, which is a charge, is it always considered to be in the arc that gives the least advantage? The answer is no. Well, rules as written in the rulebook, the answer is yes. So this is an errata. Somebody just wrote. I think somebody just put an answer in here that didn't want to play the game. I'm going to say that. If I offend you, I'm sorry. But, sure, we've errated that. Now we check the majority, which goes against the writing of the rulebook. If a unit charges an enemy that's defending a low linear obstacle, can it stop? Can it stop on top of the obstacle? No. Yeah. Shooting. Can a model that chooses to stand and shoot, fire, and flee? No, of course not. I'm sorry. Some of these FAQs are going to make me laugh. There's no need for that question either. Sorry. No need that question for the matches. Like, these are like very basic answers. Being a fighting range. Rare. Can closer unit or just one model can the closer bonus? Yes, if unit strength 10 or more. Is there how many models in the game have unit strength 10 or more that are single model? Is it only the Chaos Dragon? Almost nothing the challenge is. If one participant in a challenge causes impact hits or makes stomp attacks, where are they directed? Oh, stomp attacks may be directed against the other participant in the challenge. Oh, okay. So I thought so in 8th edition, if you were in a challenge, you would still and you're on a monster, the monster would stomp the unit and not the challenge, but they still have it in the challenge, even though the stomp will almost never work on the challenge anymore. When it countercharges, it rolls. This is the question. Oh, when a unit countercharges, it rolls a D3 plus 1 to determine how far it moves. Should this roll be considered a charge roll? No. It's not a charge roll. Not needed. If a unit with the fly X special rule is engaged in combat, it causes its fly movement. Are we done with the FAQ? Are we done with this book? Can a character that has joined a unit of models for different troop types be targeted by an enemy for shooting? For example, if a character's troop type is light chariot and joins a unit of regular infantry, can they be targeted? Yes. What's more, they don't get lookout, sir. Good. They should have. They should have just said, hey, chariots can't join non-chariot units. Like it should be. If a character joins a unit that carries a magic standard, do the effects. Yeah. If the spell Arcane is used to move a unit with random movement, can the unit move into contact? You know that answer? When deploying enemies, you know that answer? You know that answer? These things are all okay. What happened? You know that answer? Okay. First one's done. All right, chat. Are we going to Forces of Fantasy or Ravening Hordes? I haven't even skimmed these yet. Yeah, but that's rules as written, Jacob. It's already playing that way. You know what? I'm going to go to this one. The BSB change might kill the Sisters of Ellen. Forces of Fantasy. Okay, we got a lot of fantasy. Forces of Fantasy. Okay. Break the runes. Change the first. Wait, let me get this open as well, in case we need it. Codex Orcs and Friends? No. Sisters of Avalorn. Why does that kill Sisters of Avalorn? No, I didn't miss it. It just didn't matter. The rat bastard. We want Empire? Fair. Alright, strike the runes. Anvil of Doom, bounce spells to power level 2. Oh, okay, it was power level 3, now it's power level 2. Makes sense. If we're nerfing all the magic. Change the casting value of Oath and Steel to 8 and 11. Okay, we gotta pull that up because I don't remember what they're cast at. I want to say it's gonna be 9 and 12. They just strike the room. Oh, they made it higher to cast. Wait a minute. Was that necessary? Where's my phone? It's in the other room. I'm gonna message Richie. Dwarven rune casting nerf Dispel buffed. Yeah, there. Full hammer dies. Rune of Hearth of Home casting value 8. Yeah. Runes of Protection change the rule as follows. Models special rule have a 6 ward save against any wounds that were suffered by a non-magical attack. Wasn't that how it already worked? I feel like it already works that way. Was Runes of Protection just a straight 6 ward all the time? That's the exact same thing. They're on the page. Read them both, everybody. What are we missing here? Mr. Fancy Pants, what is even happening? Happy birthday. It's not my birthday. Nuts to you, sir. It changed in this unit. Oh, because some people. It never worked if a character joined the unit, guys. It never worked that way. That should have been a core FAQ. Like, guys, knock it off. Period. Move on. Hammerers get Grommer armor. Good. Change the rules. Falls. Oh, I read that one. Trollhammer torpedo. Strength 5. No dwarf crafted. No cumbersome. Or and then gain cumbersome. Well, that's unfortunate. If you want to nerf it, like you can argue bring it down to strength 6, not an 8, but not 5. However, I know people are gonna be upset about this, but like the mass strength 5 AP1 shots is just better. Not better, but good. So like the unit is still good. Don't get me wrong. The Trollhammer torpedo is hurt. How many times was I teach you this lesson, old man? No interrupting my regularly scheduled workday. Hey man, I gotta work. I gotta get the work in. I was very honest with you, Spoons. I'm going live to do this to force me to sit here and read and not paint, so that I can use this tonight. We're live just to make sure I read it instead of just skim everything, which I kind of do anyway. Rune lore. Change the rule as follows. I'm all with a special rule, maybe nominated to attempt a wizard dispel a different wizard. However, unlike yeah. The Anvil Doom dispels range 24 plus 3 modifier to dispel. Okay. A Rune Lord has a dispel range of 21 and plus 2 to dispel. A Rune Smith is 18 plus 1. Wow, that's actually kind of in the context of the game as a whole right now. That's all really good. The dwarves are we killing magic? Are we trying to? Is that what we're doing here? We hear Steve's reading accountability, but it's called an accountability buddy. You're my accountability buddies. Thank you, Jacob. Are we just nerfing magic? Change the leadership characteristic of the General of the Empire. He's leadership 10, folks. Oh no, the BSB change. The Captain of the Empire is now leadership 9. Now I cannot have. You know how many lists I had in Empire Wizard as my general and a BSB? But now I can't do that because the BSB is leadership 9? You say good impetuous rule change, I'd say probably a near inconsequential impetuous rule change. Pretty much just a buff for like high elves. Anvil has the best dispel in the game. Dark Covenant is real good now, I think. Interesting. However, less magic domination, less monster domination, less just infantry and cav. Yeah, fair. No, no. Oguma, you're misunderstanding. If you have a wizard, an Empire wizard who's leadership 8, and you buy a captain with the intent of making him your BSB, you now no longer can make him your BSB because he must be your general. You're misunderstanding. You're thinking of it completely backwards. Add Horde to state troops. That's just one more rank bonus. But with the Griffin banner, we already get so much combat bonus now. Wait a second. Is that the plus 11? Okay. So you have 3 rank bonus, times 2 for the Griffin banner, you're up to 6. 1 for close order, 7. 8 for the BSB. 9 for the war banner. 10 for outnumber. Where are we getting the 11th one from? Whoever posted that. Where are we getting so we're getting plus 10 combat result for Empire State troops. They're still gonna die in droves. Strength 4 greatswords. Does that make me like them? It does. It does. There's still only 11 points a model. I counted the outnumber. I counted the close order. I counted the banner. Oh, sorry, yeah. The banner itself. That's right. I forgot about the unit. Plus 11. Strength 4 greatswords. I do like that. If they were toughness 4, I'd like them even more, though. Imperial Griffin special rules. Delete 2 heads from the list of special rules. No! Why? What are we doing there? Is there something like a weird misprint or something? I like the 2 head. I know it was mathematically not good, but I like the 2 head rule. Go to page 70. Delete 2 heads from the end of list log. Oh. You have to buy it. Nothing there. Okay. Royal Pegasus is up to 70 points. Let's see if that is even close to enough. I don't think that's enough. I think 20. I'm assuming it's like 20-point upgrade. Page 9. It's a 10-point upgrade. Slap me in the face. Spit in my mouth. Like, that's nothing. I didn't mean to say it that way, guys. That's the big nerf for the Royal Pegasus? There's more coming, right? That's ridiculous. You're gonna piss people off with this 10-point upgrade. You're better off ignoring it. You're better off not addressing it. That needs to go way up. 10 points is not enough. 10-point upgrade might affect the 500-point cap on characters. Not enough. Not enough. Hey man, I'm a man of emotions who speaks before he thinks, and I won't change. Change the Pegasus Knights. Change the points to 59 and delete Lance Formation. Ooh, no Lance Formation. I don't care. I never did it, but somebody's gonna be upset. 59. I think they're 40 or 45 right now. 59 might be reasonable. Page are they on? Oh, they didn't. I was hoping they would buff questing knights, but I guess they didn't. 55 points up to 59. What are we doing? You had a chance to actually address Games Workshop. You have a chance to actually address these things. You should actually address these things. It took you a year to fix Pillar of Fire. We knew it was broken for a year. Waiting this long for a Pillar of Fire fix is ridiculous. Waiting this long for a Royal Pegasus and Pegasus Knight fix is also ridiculous. You kind of failed on this one. You let us down on this one. Most of what you do, I love. Not happy with this one. Did anybody think I'm wrong? They went up 4 points. Vanguard's a big nerf on Pegasus. It is a big nerf, but like that should never work that way anyway. But Pegasus Knights are still just like really undercosted. Yeah, it's no, it didn't. It went up 24 points. Captain Leisure Smooth. It went up 24 points, not 34 points. GW, you let me down on this one. Whoever wrote this, you let me down on this. You're a little out of touch. Yeah, it's non-consequential. I'm gonna move on. That's just lame. Change the so the Falcon Horde is now 1 use. Good job. You didn't remove it from the game. You still gave them the good thing. It's 1 use. That's an appropriate change. Burning Gaze is casting value 9. Sure. I'm assuming that went like the rest of the spells. We're going to what else? Every treatment ancient knows spells from the Fallen Wars of Magic. Okay. Deepwood Coven. Change the first sense of the rule as follows. A Unisys of Thorn knows a single randomly generated spell from either battle magic or elemental magic. If you wish, the spell may be discarded. Okay, good. So this is a minor errata to allow what every TO I've ever spoke to has allowed. The rule is written. The Sisters of Thorn can't swap their spell for a signature. Now they can. but everybody I know already allowed it. I've seen some people say the Falcon Horn effect doesn't end currently. Well, I will read the Falcon Horn to see if there's an argument for it. And if there is, we'll just say shit. During the command phase, during the command subphase of their turn, if they're not engaged in combat, the character may attempt to use the Falcon Horn by making a leadership test. Using their own unmodified leadership. There's one of those examples. If a test is passed until your start of next turn subphase, enemies keys fly. Why would you say that? Change the first sentence. No, the second sentence is unchanged. So the Falcon Horn only lasts one turn. Woodland Ambush. Once players have finished placing terrain, a Wood Elf Realm player may place one additional wood measuring no less than 3 as an arrow and more than 9. Wasn't it 12 previously? Is that big a deal? Yeah, 12 previously. Yeah, that's not that bad. Let me know any Wood Elf players if this upsets you. I don't think that's going to affect. Like, we use the Citadel, the old Citadel Wildwoods for our Woodland Ambush trees. That's going to fit perfectly into this. So, Gideon, remember for 6 months of Rock Chalk. Hey, Steve, cool that you chose an afternoon for us, European time. It's 10 a.m. my time. I woke up at 7. I saw the FAQ and I immediately started putting together a computer. I'm not even kidding. Here in the sun with the golden beer, food and Warhammer strength. Thanks. Love you, Gideon. Smaller cheese and inflation. Smaller for objectives and features. Yeah, deforestation, all these things. Force Walker changed the value to 9. Flock of Doom changed to 8. White Lions gain Furious Charge. I'll take it. I will take that all day long. Hand of Cain. Casting value 7. Ooh, Arcane Journal stuff. Arcane Journal, Empire Man, Tattooing Guard, Delete Guards and Temp. What rule? Is that the reroll ones? Or is that the, do I have the, what page is it on? You like this? I'm not going to like this. Nothing ever warrants an Empire nerf. When engaged in combat, a model is switched from reroll any rolls ahead of one. Why? Why? Why do we nerf Empire? Blind Guard are useless, Mandalore. They're overpriced. Oh, yeah, fair. Right, yeah. It's just a clerical issue. Sorry, you still buy it as normal. Still buy it as normal. Woo! Hell of a million panic attack there. Same as 2 heads. Yeah, chat's ahead of me. All right. Thank you guys. High Elf Arcane Journal. Warriors of the Wilderness. Once players have finished placing terrain, a creation warrior may place 1 piece of additional wood. Hey, they fixed it. Now all you wood elf, or sorry, not all you high elf players that were cheating and putting down woods are no longer cheaters. Sorry, I'm talking to one particular person. But we talked to everybody. Ring of Fury changed power level 1. Okay, reasonable. That's the hammer hand ring. Though, are we still bringing Rings of Fury for their high elves now? Is it not as power level 1? Changed Fury of Florence, Spiteful Torrent, changed it. Okay. Well, else? Oh, normal things for. Okay. Nothing else there. If I give Armor Roost Anvil Doom, does the Anvil itself benefit or just the crew? Well, that is unintuitive, but sure, there's their answer. Because the crew, it's a single model. But interesting. Can a champion in a unit of Royal Clan warriors or hammers put rune weapons on Grummel, Great Axe, or Grummel? No, only their hand weapon. I didn't. That's not how I thought about it would work, but okay. Does the Grifter standard allow you to claim a higher rank bonus than normal for its troop type? Yes. Good. Arcane Journal Empire of Man. If Harold Jemison issues a second challenge using his skill duelist special rule, can he fight again immediately? Can his opponent that issued the challenge fight again? Yes. Sure. A unit of Empire Road Warriors may replace its crossbows with brace pistols 1 point per model. If it does so, must the captain pay an additional 2 points to do the same? No. You have mixed stuff. Rip Empire. Izzy, what's wrong? Unless Izzy's watching a little bit farther behind and is watching me complain about the Guardians of the Temple. They didn't understand. Does the Anvil nerf with no immune to multiple rune or T10? Yeah, guess so. But those are two things the immune to multiple wounds I've done numerous times. Yeah. So the Anvil is not going to be immune to multiple wounds, but it's so good now that your opponent needs a chance to kill it. In my not so humble opinion. Kingdom of Bretonnia. Here we go, guys. We're going to find something in here that's going to fix the problem. Can a unit with defensive stakes be hit by impact hits or stomp attacks by a charging enemy? Yes. Well, that's not accurate. While the stakes might do tremendous damage to cavalry and chariots, they are turned into kindling? That's such a weird... That's not an FAQ. That's an errata. Writer, do you know the difference between FAQ and errata? That's not what the rules say. Tolkash, you don't want to play the game. It's fine, buddy. I love you, though. What happens if a unit in a lance formation that declares a charge finds its movement blocked by the presence of an enemy unit to its flank? Where does it get wider? What happens if a unit in lance formation... Oh, what happens if a unit in lance formation that declares a charge needs its movement blocked by the presence of an enemy unit in its flank? Where does the unit get wider? Such situations are covered by the rules for accidental contact during a charge. If the lance can wheel around the enemy unit... Yeah, I think this is jank stuff that you can all find the answer for clearly in the rules. It takes a bit of work, but it's all there already. Arcane Journal... Oh, last one. Can Corhill Line Main or a Gratian Chieftain join a unit of White Lines of Grace? Why do we think we can't? Why is that question in there? JTY puts rules... I don't know if he actually writes these. Do you think he writes these? In which case, I take back everything I say. I respect you immensely, sir. But that's an errata, not an FAQ. The Anvil is nerfed in both casting and higher value. Yeah, you don't get it, Tokash. You're looking at one part, you're not looking at the whole. The fact that magic is so dominating the game, and all magic got harder to cast, and dwarves got better at dispelling, and they have MR across the board. MR as a universal special rule just skyrocketed in value. It is so powerful, and all your units have it. You keep hyper focusing on one tiny thing, and you can't see the whole picture. Yeah, the Anvil Doom is so much more powerful now. Okay, we are all done with the FAQ for the Forces of Fantasy. Ravening Hordes! Release the Fanatics! Change the last sentence of the first paragraph as follows. Unless it is fleeing or in a marching column, a concealed unit may release one or more Fanatics during any start of turn. So I was kind of hoping they would change it to not be your opponents. But hey, whatever. Let's just pull up Ravening. Didn't think I was going to need these. What's the change there? Oh, you can't release a marching column. Good. Good. Oh, thank God. That's so good. We never did it. I even, Luca We even made a. I'm gonna sidetrack for a second. We even did a backport where Luca was, and we both knew ahead of time Luca was in a marching column, some night goblins, and released some fanatics just because people want to see it. It's jank, people want to see it, but he couldn't bring himself to do it. I tried to get him, he wouldn't do it. Troll mobs. Change the option to take one of the following enemy. Oh, Motley Crew. They can mix their weapons. No more jank stuff. Porco's Pig Sticka. Change the second sentence of the weapon as follows. This weapon's strength, armor, piercing modifiers only apply in turn with charge. It should be that way. So the Porco's Pig Sticka might actually be a weapon that we see in the game now. It used to be a good magic item in previous editions. But the game state, as it sits right now, doesn't really reward it. Wait. But now that... Where is this? Now that we're going to see a lot of infantry on the table, if I remember this thing correctly, 40 points, strength plus 1 AP 1. Keep in mind you have the chop special rule. In addition, in turn which you charge plus 1 attack for each rank the enemy has. So if we see big blocks of infantry, this thing's gonna get a lot of extra attacks. Yeah, I like it. I really like it. Hey, Tolkash, don't worry, buddy. You don't bring the Anvil of Doom, and all your problems are solved. What was I? I was distracted. Brain Burst. We're changing the casting all spells. Okay. Delete the restriction, demonic bound, character mounts. Delete the restrictions on the second bullet point as follows. We're done with Orcs and Goblins already? That's it? Oh, it's open for more. Just because I like it. Page 59, character mounts. Delete the restriction on second bullet point as follows. What? What am I missing here? What am I missing here? I am brain fart. Like something's wrong here. Page 59, character mounts. Delete the restriction on the second bullet point. As follows. That's not even English. Demonic mount. What am I missing? Inspired champions can go on demonic mount, but they already could, right? Oh, I see. So in the little bubble after demonic mount, the restrictions are Chaos Lord, Exalted Champion only, whereas that heading is for the Exalted Champion, the Chaos Lord, and the Inspired Champion. So that means, got it. That took way too many reads and somebody else to tell me what it meant. Got it. Inspiring Champions may now take demonic mounts. There was probably a better way to write that. Change restrictions on the 5th and 6th bullet points as follows. Manticore. Chaos Lords and Sorcerer Lords. Now we can take Exalted Champions, okay. Chaos Dragon, Exalted Champions, and Chaos Lords only. Okay, so we can put lighter characters. Which means there is a Chaos Dragon sub unit strength 10. But they can still get a unit strength 10 one. No, 120 bucks anyway? Okay, fair. Chaos Trolls. Okay, they're Motley Crew. Chaos Knights. Add countercharge. Ooh, we just buffed the regular old Chaos Knights. Chaos Dragon. Add Impetuous. Still leadership 10. Well, leadership. They're going to be leadership 9, and then they're going to get to 10 because they're always going to roll that 6. But yeah, Impetuous not bad. Exalted Dragon is only T5. Is that so? Because the Exalted Heroes are T4? Oh yeah, there you go. So you can get a T5 Dragon if you want. But it's going to be 70 points cheaper than the 70 points get you so much. You're probably not going to see many T5 dragons. You gain a lot for that 70 points. Demonic Splendor. Monster is infantry cavalry only. What one is that? A bunch of these things are never used. Can't remember them all. Demonic Splendor. It's okay. Only infantry and cav minus 1 for shooting. Enchanting Aura. Infantry or cav only. Is that the... Ooh, so no more Enchanting Aura dragons. We got a nerf. Infernal Puppet. Oh, range down to 15. Good. Oh, I missed one. No, I missed one. Ooh, the Infernal Puppet's a lot more powerful now, too. When you take in the whole. And the puppet's going to be even more powerful. Dragon Ogres are changed at 59 points. That's not enough. What page are they on? 101? Am I misreading this? 59. 56. 3 points. 3 points. Come on. What are we doing? Come on. Out of touch. Completely out of touch. I'm sorry. No disrespect. Was that a joke? Was that an intentional joke? Okay, so unit of 4 is gonna cost you 12 more points. Honestly, it's gonna fix them. People are gonna who said something? Shit games the Doombulls infantry. I'm sorry, Shiver. I'm sorry, but like Dragon Ogre is going from 56 points to 59 points as a fix. Oh, I'm sorry. The smallest. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go back to reading. Skeleton Chariots. Change your points to 41. I have no idea how many points 141. I think I peed a little bit after like. This is one of those cases where you're better off not adjusting the point costs, and you're less likely to upset the community. Skeleton Chariots are down 2 points. I think 2 points is inconsequential, but I'm not gonna laugh at this one. Vortex of Souls. Oh, bounce for level 2. Flail of Skulls. Flail Changes. Arcane Journal for Orcs and Goblins. The Skull Smasher. Change the second sentence of the weapon as follows. You must choose which Kicknick will use. Oh, Kicknick can go back and forth. What do you mean? It's a huge nerf. My Ungor amateurs don't get musicians now. I want to put you in timeout. Coated Whirlpool. Change the third, fourth, fifth. Okay, so the typical Vortex changes, nothing there. Power level changes. The accurate axe. Change the second sentence of the weapon as follows. Note, this weapon strength modifier only applies when you charge. Okay, nothing to talk about with the Arcane Journal. Storm's Wrath. This is for the, what, Warriors of Chaos? Change weapon as follows. Nothing there. Beastman, Dark Coven. Replace the second, third, fourth sentence as follows. To do so, when a Bray Shaman or Great Bray Shaman makes a casting or dispel roll, they may apply a +1 modifier to the roll if one or more. Only get maximum of +1 casting if one or more friendly wizards are within range, and not subject to stupidity. However, if they roll a natural double 1, something has gone wrong. Immediately roll the miscast table, but as normal, apply the result to the Bray Shaman Great. Ooh! Did they fix the one thing I didn't like? Well, the one they fixed the broken thing in that book that didn't. Fixed it. It's good. It's good. I'm so happy with that. Sorry, for those of you who don't know, how it currently works is if you roll any doubles, you miscast and it applies to every wizard in range. But that is so mathematically bad, it's never worth using. It hurts. Skaven back to back, please. And also, what malls do you want next? I'm this game. You type like I speak or like I read. Sort of fix it. No, I think it's a fantastic fix. If you miscast as normal now, only on double ones, every wizard in your command range will also miscast, which they didn't address. What happens if you roll an 8+? The spell goes off. I don't think the spell would go off multiple times, but each wizard wouldn't be able to cast anymore. Strangle Root, casting only 8. Banner of the Warp Moon, single use. That's the Falconhorn for them, single use. Arcane Journal, Tomb Kings of Khemri. Change your rule as follows. Once per turn, when making a casting roll, any lich roll. Oh, you maximum +1 modifier. Okay. Giant Pie. Just FYI, they fixed Dark Covenant in 3 weeks, but Pillar of Fire took a year and a bit to fix. Okay, so I'm going to be using all these FAQs. We're implementing these. Let's see if I have this camera I do. One second, I forgot that I had to put this brand new mic on. Can you hear me now? You can hear me now, right? Oh, wrong one. You can hear me now. There. So I literally had to build this computer in this OBS setup and everything this morning. Oh, okay. So Beastmen have to make a leadership test to start off like what's return. What can they do automatically and cheaper? Sure, like it's a Beastmen have way more things than Cathay. Beastmen are probably a more powerful army than Cathay right now. I it's fixed in a second. Actually, so okay, yeah. What are we thinking? Get your thoughts in now. So we're gonna use this in tonight's stream. Is this gonna be? So I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive yet, but I'm pretty sure Luca is playing, Cathay, not Cathay, Crom in today's battle report. He's gonna have several 20-point MR2. He's gonna have MR2 in every one of his units. So that's gonna be a massive debuff to my Cathay magic aggressive army, which is gonna be. I don't know. I think. I think is Sorry, what I'm trying to say is, are these hits to the magic phase, are they warranted or are they going to be too much? What do we think? It's too hard to say. I'm going to play a bunch of games before I make my final opinion, but it looks a little heavy-handed. Positive gut reaction. That's where I'm at too, Inquisitor Vec. That's where I'm at. A positive gut reaction. Empire Greatsword Brick. Well, with the missions, if you're incorporating all this FAQ and erratas with the match play guide, there might be some actual play for state troops. There might not be enough points left over for great swords. No, speak now and double down later. That is how I do. Was there nothing about Cathay? Let me just quickly. There was nothing for Cathay, right? We're still gonna cast the Alchemist Mask. That's the wrong. We're gonna cast the Alchemist Mask at +3. Let's see anything for Cathay. Yet something Cathay will get their route as well. Like their Falcon Horn will end up being once per game. The Alchemist Mask will be errated as well. I'm gonna play Cathay today, but like only because it's new, right? Otherwise, I'd wait for the FAQ for them to come out, because what I think is gonna happen is I'll do this stream tonight, and then this Wednesday stream will get edited and re-uploaded for next Monday, and that one an FAQ is gonna come out in between. You have to make sure that I'm not saying for sure an FAQ is going to come out, but saying my luck, an FAQ will come out for Cathay to do their erratas as well, to bring them in line, and then they'll be in between. Yeah. Cathay's not out yet. Yeah, that's true. They're not officially out yet. So my list for today, so I made 3 different Cathay lists for the next 3 games I'm going to play. One's going to be on another channel, but I was going to play this aggressive list against Crom. I'm assuming Crom is tonight. So Warriors of Chaos. My core will be Lancers. I have 2 Shujengen Lords that are like master combat characters to charge in and do like assailments and stuff. But now those assailments are almost certainly not going to go off. Not guaranteed, say, but the fact that the MR2 losing 2 casting air level 4s, it's gonna be a big change. If they already has once per game, but no, oh, it already is once per game. Not bad for the Cathay, not Falconhorn. Are you gonna play with the appropriate nerfs? What are the appropriate nerfs, James? Talk about Saurus. What's wrong with Saurus? Oh my god, Saurus with spears. You're going to have effectively 4 attacks per frontage, fighting in 2 ranks. 2 attacks in the front rank, 1 attack on the second rank, 1 attack on the fourth rank with spears. A lot of attacks for spears. Yeah, James, for sure. Level 1 Gray Shaman Viletide spam. True. Ooh. Oh, now there's like 50 things I want to try. So maybe I'll get Luca to do a Viletide spam tomorrow, if he wants to do that. He should. He's not going to like it. Hello, Josh. Let's see if we can convince Luca. Message him in the Discord, everybody. See if you can convince him to do the Herdstone, combine all your wizards for level 1 Viletide spam. So you bring a level 1, you take Viletide, you cast that +2. Both first and second get 2 attacks. No, that's not true. Captain loves this move. You're misunderstanding the rules of the game if you think both ranks will get 2 attacks. You still have to be in base contact. to get your second attack. Like your front rank of Source Warriors that are in like Linehammer that are not in base contact, they're still in the fighting rank, they have to attack, but because they're not in base contact, you only get one attack. So you're gonna get 2 attacks from the front rank for who's in base contact, 1 attack for the second rank for being infantry, and then 1 attack for the third rank for having spears. I feel like I'm gonna be explaining that one for the next month. Easily misunderstood, I guess. Ambushing beastmen, wizards, here we come. Yeah. I'm just lucky. Only use the miscast roll. No, so now we can't, Jacob. When we play with new rules, we have to play with them. We can't add our own little special twist on things. We have to like try them out as they're written. Hey Mo, take it easy. Does the extra rank fighting mean you need an extra rank to count as a rank for combat res? What? I'm not following that. Does the extra rank fighting mean you need an extra rank to count as a rank for combat? I feel like that's not getting into my head. No, it says they count as being in the fighting rank. After was a smooth. Going to be really good damage block. I can't see how wild. Wow, wait. Okay, hold on. Source Warriors, they're still expensive, but they are going to be much better now. Temple Guard are going to be much better now. Same as Source Warriors. Do we like Swordmasters now? Do I like Swordmasters now? I like Swordmasters now. Guys, I just went through a whole thing. Man, that was like 50 things I need to try. Most important question, will I have bigger names in the credits tonight? I don't know, James, because, okay, just a quick catch up. You know what? I will do my best to get there and get it done. In fact, no, I will get it done today. I'll do it right after the stream. So we're losing our live stream computer over at Mini Wargaming. But they're letting me hang on to it because a bunch of things happen. So I went to get a tower from my house. A tower I use every day that I bought as a backup computer for live streaming. I use it every day for the 3D printer. I went there to like start clearing stuff off the desktop that doesn't need to be there. And then as I was doing that, the whole thing crashed. All 3 drives in the computer crashed at once. I took it into the dude to get it fixed up and repaired, and he got it done. But one of the things happened, it's weird. Like my PCI slot that my video card was in also burnt out. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened. We had to put in a different PCI slot, but now it's so chunky that it blocks my other PCI slot. So now I can't put in the capture card that's going to capture all the cameras. So I had to you know what? I had to buy a whole brand new computer. So the guy currently building a new stream computer right now, which won't be used tonight because Mini Wargaming is going to allow me to keep that computer for a couple more days, and hopefully it gets done before Friday. So you know what? Ignore me. I lost 2 towers this week. No, James, I'm gonna do it right after this. The second I end this live stream, I'm gonna take care of it. No, Steve, you hate the Highlands. No, I think I love Swordmasters now. Oh, that's why they had to. That's why they had to. That's why they had to give White Lions a furious charge, because they need something to be in line with everybody else. The Swordmasters fighting in 2 ranks while getting charged actually might matter now. Senior Skirt only fight in 1 rank, right? No, they fight in 2 ranks when they're not charged, so they're going to be really good. Oh my. I know infantry got better. Dwarves? They're great swords. Oh, there's going to be some confusion. Not great swords, they're great weapons. There's going to be confusion about piling in, stepping up now. Because you get your attacks if you step up to the spear rank, but not the fighting rank. So now if you step up into the 2nd rank, you don't get your attack. You have to have more models. Oh, it's going to be confusing to explain that to everybody. Kyle Milton, member 47 months, and a big supporter. You know who else lost 2 towers? The excellent. You guys are a bunch of dinguses. Yeah, Phoenix Guard. Swordmasters. Okay, who's getting hurt? Who's benefiting from this FAQ? So let's start off with the Force of Fantasy. Dwarves. They're defensively, magic-wise, are massively buffed. Ignore what Telkosh says in the comments. Dwarves have a massive buff against magic now. Combat wise, their hammerers got even better, but we already can't use them because they're too expensive. The Trollhammer torpedo is a big nerf, but warriors with great axes are going to be more useful. Then again, just blocks of warriors with heavy armor and shield to parry, and then having characters do work. Do Longbeards have a Gromwell armor? No, they have Gromwell weapons. It's probably good because Longbeards with parry and Gromwell armor might have been too good. Yeah, dwarves are sitting okay. Dwarves are liking this FAQ for sure. Who's next? Empire of Man? I think Empire of Man is liking this FAQ. Bretonnia, they're good. Actually, is Bretonnia overall hurt by this FAQ? We're gonna see infantry now. They're still gonna bring all the infantry, right? They're gonna be fine. Bretonnia's gonna be fine. Priest the Pegasus, please. What Elf Realms? How do we feel about them? Are they hurt? Okay, so we have their dragon is worse because all dragons are worse. Their wizards are worse because all wizards are worse. Their archers are worse because they nerfed poisoning, the only one worth taking. Oh yeah, massive archer nerf. Eternal Guard are better, but don't really fit with the rest of the army. Wildwood Rangers are better, but maybe they'll get some attacks in. Maybe little MSU Wildwood Rangers might be something we can try around and play around with. War Dancers are going to be better. Wait, do you have to be close order? No. Black Stitch lose. Ogre Kingdoms, I think, are getting a nerf. More attacks from infantry. Heavy infantry is going to gut them. I don't know. Ogre Kingdoms. Maybe. Yep, you're right. Nope, Ogre Kingdoms are going to nerf. Are technically nerfed. Okay, War Dancers. I have to double check the FAQ. Did the I closed the page off. Even skirmishers are not fighting 2 ranks, right? Or do you never get ranks as a skirmisher? Is that a thing? I have to look at the wording on the FAQ for fighting an extra rank. Or the fighting in 2 rank thing. Downloads, one of the old words. Fighting rank. When 2 opposing units are engaged in combat When 2 opposing units are engaged in combat, any row of models, be it rank or file, in which one or more of those are in base contact with the enemy in fighting rank. So it does work with skirmishers unless I'm checking skirmish rules. Yep, okay, so it does work for I'm just making sure. Yeah, so it does so back to here. War Dancers are getting a bit of a buff. Weight Watchers are still trash. Dryads, they're buffed. Blade Riders are still great. This is a Thorn technically buff, but whatever. Wild Riders doesn't affect them in any way, shape, or form. Oh no, they're nerfed. Wild Riders are nerfed because of the nerf to Frenzy. Warhawk Riders are anyway. Ooh, but the Wild Hunt. Warhawk Riders with the upgrade for Impetuous and Furious Charge, they might have still bad. Change to Impetuous is still, I'm not going to risk it. Freeman, nothing to change. Okay, so what else are ultimately the army is kind of sinking deeper and deeper into a hole. So what else feel like a big nerf? Wild Riders, no Vanguard charge. Yeah, that's a positive thing for the game, in my opinion, to be honest with you. Let's check out. Oops. Orcs and Goblins. Whoa, what do we think? So nerfs. I'm sorry, nerfs. So the buffs to infantry. Are we going to see orcs on the table or just more goblins? Too early to tell for me. Slightly better impetuous for them, but got characters even better. So kind of buffs for. I think we're buffs. We're calling buffs on orcs and goblins, right? I would think so. Thoughts on Empire? Empire, I think is sitting pretty good with this. All these changes. Empire loves these changes. Just roll through units. Black Orcs just got better again. Warriors of Chaos. Warriors of Chaos got some buffs. Beastman got some buffs. Tomb King's got nerfs at Mortuary Call, but buffs everywhere else, so that's a good thing. Okay. And then I think it's a buff for goblins. Hey, the common goblin is the scariest thing in the game. Okay, let's talk about what do we have for Legacy. Chaos Dwarves. Do their fire pikes count as halberds? Are they just not? Let's go through these one at a time. Fire glaives. Two. No, so Fire Glaive's not getting the halberd buff, but it's already damn good. So Chaos Dwarves. Or say it's buff. Demons buff, but okay. Dark Elves, it's a buff. Nerf for magic, buff for everything else. Ooh, Executioners, Blackguard, all these things. Blackguard with the Banner of Harganeth now is even scarier. But they're still going to die in droves from shooting. Lizardmen, big buffs. Ogres, some nerfs. For sure. Skaven. Their Renegade, Greyseer, Screaming Bell, Death Star is a buff. Vampire counts indifferent, I guess. Other than the magic nerfs, we're all taking those. Horn Demon like the Impetuous change. True, but they're leadership 7, right? So it's a minor. Let me double check that. It's like they don't charge 5% of the time unless they have a character mod. Leadership 7. So if they buy they can get to leadership 8 at best. Yeah, okay. So stay tuned tonight. We're gonna do Cathay versus something. Probably Crom. He might save that Crom for tomorrow. But I think overall I am happy. I'm sorry that I laughed. Like, I didn't mean to be disrespectful about the changes to Pegasus and Dragon Ogres. It just I don't like the changes to poison overall, because while yes, it does fix some things that were abusing it or just really massively taking advantage of it, it didn't need to nerf Wood Elf poison. It didn't need, there was no need for that. Like, Wood Elf poison spam wasn't dominating any kind of meta, even low tier tables. And then having large targets no longer being targeted by every model in a shooting unit, it only nerfs the things that were broken and taken advantage of it, like the poison spam, and Wood Elves and High Elves. Nobody else has really taken a deep shooting, so there's that. That's that. I'm gonna go ahead and fix some stuff for you guys. There's the FAQ. This was a long ass stream, but I'm happy. See you guys tonight, in a few hours. Happy wargaming.